Iono, Lord Roll aka Megablitz. In today's video, we're looking at the Magmortar Budew deck that Daniel Dempster had played to a regional and actually did pretty well with it. Ended up making day 2 and kind of put the deck on the map. I'm going to put up a kind of the thumbnail or the video or the guide that kind of was made with him in it, kind of going over all the specific matchups and things like that. But I really wanted to give this deck a shot and try it out. And to my surprise, this deck was tons of fun. So let's jump into that deck list. Already here at that deck list, starting us off with the star of the show, as Daniel even says in that guide video, is going to be that Budew with that free attack Itchy Pollen for 10 damage. This little bud Pokemon is able to item lock our opponent. During your opponent's next turn, they can't play any item cards from their hands. So the idea is we keep our opponent under item lock the entire game while also taking knockouts with burn damage, adding on this Itchy Pollen damage on top of that. And the way that we ended up doing that is we are playing 4 copies of this Magmortar here, which has the ability Magma Surge. During your Pokemon checkup, put 3 more damage counters on your opponent's burned Pokemon. Does have an attack that we can use in this deck, so we are playing Reversal Energy in here as well. Searing Flame for 90 damage, 2 fire, and a colorless. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned, so being able to hit for 90 and then kind of keep the burn going is also pretty nice. But we end up burning our opponent's Pokemon by playing this Volcanion EX with the ability Scalding Steam. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may make your opponent's active Pokemon burned. And then, of course, we play 2 Latias EX as well with that ability Skyliner, so we can free retreat our Volcanion and stuff out of the active spot because it has a big retreat cost of 3. Fezandipiti for the script. Bloodmoon Ursaluna EX is kind of a late game attacker. And then 4 copies of Iono, 4 copies of Arven. Going to be kind of your main supporters that you're going to use majority of the time for disruption and kind of setting up with that Arven. 3 copies of Boss's Orders, 2 copies of Professor's Research, 2 Surfer as kind of extra switch effect, being able to switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, and a draw engine attached to that. If you do, you draw until you have 5 cards in your hand, which kind of works out nice. The deck definitely needs some draw engine going, which is why the 4 Iono, the 2 Research, and the 2 Surfer feel very good in this deck. And then 1 copy of Penny as well, 4 Switch, 3 Ultra Ball, 3 Night Stretcher, 2 Nest Ball, 1 Counter Catcher, 1 Precious Trolley to really get all these things set up. This deck really needs a lot going on to kind of be able to win your games. You need your Budew, you're going to need your Latias, you're going to need Volcanion, and you're going to need some Magmortars in play as well, so that Trolley can help you drag your Magmars to kind of get everything rolling as well. 3 copies of Bravery Charm, 2 copies of a Defiance Band. We are going to be behind on prizes for a good chunk of the game until we kind of close it out by kind of taking all these extra knockouts by burn damage or closing it out with Bloodmoon Ursaluna. And then 1 Talent Machine Evolution to be able to evolve our Magmars into Magmortars pretty quickly. The games I have played with this deck, I've only evoed 1 time. Usually I end up going second majority of the time and then kind of item lock my opponent and kind of go from there. But watch the guide video. Daniel does a really good job explaining exactly what you should be doing in all these matchups because he kind of innovated and made the deck. So 4 copies of Jet Energy and then 3 copies of Reversal Energy as well. Now let's jump into that gameplay. Already here at that Budew Magmortar gameplay here at the coin flip. It is going to be heads. Our opponent did win the coin flip, so they're going to be deciding if we want to go first or second. Like I said in the deck list, going first or second, I've been liking and enjoying going second with this deck majority of the time. Being able to establish that item lock pretty quickly has been pretty nice. Our opponent here is going to be able to finally get a basic here. Flipping over that Charmander here. So we're going to have to see what we can cook up. We got a Latias EX in the active spot. Got Volcanion EX. Got a Budew. We got Latias EX in hand. 2 Boss. 1 copy of Switch. And 1 Ultra Ball. So in a pretty okay position here. Our opponent got a Buddy Poff and getting 2 more Manders on the bench. Looking like it is definitely a Charizard deck. Could be potentially be a Dragapult Charizard deck. Dragapult Charizard has been making a little bit of resurgence recently, and I wouldn't be shocked because Dragapult is like one of the best decks to play right now. But our opponent just got an Ultra Ball for a Charmeleon here, going to be able to have that for next turn to be able to kind of evolve. They might not even be sure what we're playing, or they really just want to get all of the items out of their hand because they know next turn I'm probably going to be item locking them. So Rare Candy Charizard isn't really an option for them. So Ultra Ball, going to pitch that Charizard EX and that Pidgeot EX to get a second Charmeleon. So you're going to have 2 Charmeleons in hand. Now, what you could have actually done is maybe grab yourself like a Mew or something to be able to kind of restart for a couple cards. or just hold that Charizard EX in your hand. I think that would have also been fine. But now I'm in a position where I know their hand's not great, so I'm not going to play my Iono. So we're going to Ultra Ball here, getting ourselves a Magmar. Going to be able to retreat out of this, going into our Volcanion EX for that Scalding Steam. Switch into the Budew. Going to be able to Itchy Pollen for 10 damage, plus another 30 for the burn, or 20 for the burn, putting him at 30. But they do end up hitting heads, unfortunately, for us. So, going to be able to cure that burn on that Charmander here. Like I said, we don't really want to Iono our opponent, where you know their hand's not great. And there's not really any reason to right now. They're kind of top decking. We know they have 2 Charmeleons in hand, which they both just evolved. So we only don't know 1 card in hand. And their top decks can't be that great. And it was a fire energy here. So no cards in hand. No reason to Iono to give them a fresh 6 cards. Doesn't make any sense. We can just boss his orders, pull up maybe a Charmander or something. But we end up getting Arven off the top here. So Arven is looking like we're going to grab ourselves Healing Machine, Evolution, and maybe Precious Trolley. But first, I kind of want to look and see what we got going on. So Bravery Charm and Trolley looking to be what we're going to grab here. Precious Trolley going to come down. Just getting 2 more Pokemon onto our bench. Going to get another Budew in that Magmar here. Going to be able to attach that Bravery Charm to our Budew. Now, we could have actually just attached it to the bench Budew, because if it's like a Fire Energy, then this Budew dies even with the Bravery Charm on it. It won't matter because of weakness. But regardless, not too big of a deal. They're just going to pass turn here. So we end up finding ourselves into our Surfer, which is kind of interesting. So we're going to retreat into the Volcanion. Scalding Steam. Going to be able to put that burn on there. Surfer. Going to be able to go into the Budew. Trying to find ourselves a Magmortar, but we can't find it off those 3 cards. So Itchy Pollen for 10. Keeping the item lock. Burn damage is going to be Tails. So now, in between turns, the Charmeleon looks like it is going to get knocked out here. Going to be able to really just kind of go ahead in this prize race. Really establishing how that item lock is really good. Also, that was an alarm for me to take a med. So, apologies. I'll take it after I'm done recording. Be able to take the prize card here onto that Charmeleon, because if you can't tell about the med, I have a very raspy voice. So I've been trying to take some antibiotics, and I have to take them at the same time every day. Ended up picking a bit of a cold up in my journeys throughout Florida and things like that and whatnot. So, going to be able to go to the Volcanion EX, Scalding Steam, back into this. Going to be able to get that burn back onto that Charmander here after we boss his orders and pulled it up, which is pretty solid. Tails is going to be exactly what we want here. Going to have 30 damage on that Charmander here, and we're still going to have burn on it. So next turn, they're going to take another 50. Or they're going to go to 50 damage, going to take another 20. Then we're going to be able to Itchy Pollen and put them at 60. If we can find ourselves into a Magmortar, we will be able to take this knockout here. And another Tails, exactly what we needed here. Exactly what we're going to be able to have happen. We're going to take a knockout, even without the Magmortar, it looks like. And I don't really want to Iono still, just because our opponent's top decking. There's not really any reason to. So we're going to, looks like we're going to attach the Reversal Energy, and we attach it to the Budew. And the reason I attach it to the Budew is because I want to go for an Evo play. And the reason I want to go for the Evolution play is I want to get the Magmortar set up, and I already know I'm taking this knockout on this Charmander. So even if my opponent finds an item, the only thing that really hurts us is an Ultra Ball. An Ultra Ball definitely does not feel great, because they can find themselves a Charizard EX and be able to evolve in to that Charizard EX with this Charmeleon. So we're just going to kind of hope they don't have the Ultra Ball, or maybe have Arven to be able to find that kind of Charizard EX through that Ultra Ball or whatever. But our opponent got a Super Rod, putting in Charizard EX, Charmeleon, and a Charmander here. Got 3 cards in hand. We're kind of in a position where we still have complete control of this game so far. And I'm like, perfect. We're going to go into our Volcanion EX, Scalding Steam. Going to be able to go to 8 damage counters in between turns here. We're going to Penny, and we're going to pick up our Volcanion EX. Going into the Budew, going to go to Itchy Pollen for 10 damage here. And then in between turns, another 80, taking it to 90, knocking out our opponent's only Pokemon, being able to win the game, not only because they didn't have anything to promote or anything like that, but even let's say they did, we were so far ahead in that game, I'm not too sure it would have mattered. I've really been enjoying playing this Budew Magmortar deck, and I really think Daniel was onto something. And this deck is tons of fun to play. Even if it's a rogue deck at best, you have to give this deck a try. It's so much fun, and as somebody who really enjoys playing control-style decks like Pidgeot Control and Snorlax Stall, this was right up my alley. let's jump into that outro. All right, it's gonna draw for today's video. I mentioned I put the decklist that I played in today's video in the description below, ready for copy paste into TCG Live. And once again, a huge shout out to Daniel Dempster, and I want to make sure to also post the video about that guide that I was telling you about in the description below as well, so definitely check that out. But we're getting real close to 1K subs, so if you've been enjoying the content I make over the channel, or this is your first time here at the channel, do me a favor, scroll down, just smash the subscribe button. Like I said, we're getting real close to 1K subs, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's kind of a big goal that I've had to really hit 1K, and I wouldn't be this far without you guys. So thank you so much, and I really appreciate it. And I want to give a special thanks to my awesome channel members you see here. They can support the channel even further by joining the trainer club here on the Mega Blitz YouTube channel. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!